Hello yogis, and welcome to your yoga practice. I'm Maria and I will be guiding you through a short, sweet yoga practice, yoga flow focused on your upper back and shoulders. This is for anyone that has a hunchback or that hunches over or that works at a desk all day. I'm definitely guilty of that, but this isn't necessarily saying that posture is bad or your posture is bad, but it's just good to move our bodies in different ways, and they have been consistently, whether that's all week or all day. This is a practice that I like to incorporate quite often throughout the week. So feel free to come back to this as often as you'd like, every day, multiple times a day, to kind of help counter that hunchiness in your upper back. We'll begin in a seated position and just come to a comfortable position. Place your hands on your knees and we'll shrug our shoulders up to our ears. Inhale. Exhale, roll them back, down, around. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, squeeze them up towards your ears, and then exhale to roll them back, around, and down. Last time. Inhale, up to your ears, and exhale, back, around, and down. And then close your eyes. Soften your jaw, your forehead, that space between your eyebrows, maybe your mouth. Release your tongue from touching the roof of your mouth and just let it relax. Start to tune in here. Focus on your body and just notice how you feel. Feel your sits bones root into the ground, while at the same time, the crown of your head reaches up to the sky, finding length in the spine. And then open your eyes. We're going to lift our hands, bring them up above overhead, arms reaching towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Option to look up here. Option to bring the palms to touch. Inhale. And exhale to bend your elbows, bring them down by your sides as we open our arms up out into cactus pose, lifting your chest, and then slowly letting your hands and arms release to the ground. And we'll do that a few more times. So inhale, lift your arms, look up, lift the chest. Exhale to lower your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades behind your back as you bring them low, and then release. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale, cactus pose. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Lift your chest, lift your heart. Last one. Inhale, lift your arms up, reaching towards the sky. And then exhale, cactus arms. Bring your pinkies back, pull your shoulder blades back. One more big breath in here. And then exhale to release. And then we'll send our legs out in front of us with our feet on the ground. So keeping those legs in a 45-degree angle here. And we'll take our hands, place them behind our hips, fingertips face towards the back of the room. Lift your chest and just open up through the heart here, bringing your shoulder blades to touch behind you. If this is enough, you can stay here. But if you're looking for something more, you have the option to scoot your hips closer to your heels. And just stay in the spot where you can breathe fully, uninterrupted. Your mobility is going to look different than mine. So don't try to compare yourself to me or any other yogis that you see around. The most important part here is just to focus on yourself, your own body, and your breathing. Lift your chest. Great release. If you scooted your hips down, bring them back up closer to your arms. Release your arms. Cross your legs into a seated position and then rock forward onto hands and knees onto all fours, tabletop position. We're going to actually coming to child's pose. So bring your knees as wide as the mat and send your hips back towards your heels. Walk your hands forward onto your mat, reaching towards the front of the mat, and then rest your forehead on the ground. Take 3 deep belly breaths in here to completely relax. So sending that breath deep into your low belly with every breath. Great, and then take one more big breath in, and then exhale, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and then push up to all fours, tabletop position. Bring your hands and wrist underneath your shoulders, and then your knees underneath your hips. We're going to do some cat-cows here, so drop the belly, lift the chin, pull the chest forward, and most importantly here, squeeze your shoulder blades behind your back, coming into a cow pose. Inhale. And exhale to tuck your tailbone under. Lift your belly button up towards your chest, round through the upper back. Cat pose. Surrounding your back like a Halloween cat here. And then drop the belly. Inhale, lift the chin, shoulder blades back. Exhale, round through the upper back, chin to chest. Push away from the mat here with your hands. And we're going to stay here in this cat pose for a few breaths as we find that opening, that spaciousness between the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades are being drawn to either side now and push into the mat to separate those and push into the middle of your back. Feeling that nice stretch through the upper back, through the shoulders, underneath the shoulder blades. And then inhale to drop the belly, lift the chin. Take a few breaths here, just pulling the shoulders away from the ears. And then on your next exhale, round through your back, push away from the mat here with your hands, creating space in that upper back. Good, and then drop your belly, returning to neutral. From here, we're going to drop our elbows to replace where our hands were. And then walk your knees back a little until you feel a stretch in your upper shoulders. And eventually, your forehead's going to drop onto the mat. Your hips should be directly over your knees or close to that. Push into the tops of your feet. And just use your breath here as an anchor, as a way to stay stable through this challenging pose. Ground down through all 10 knuckles, pushing into the mat, staying active here through your hands, your arms, and also through your legs. The tops of your feet are pushing into the mat, almost as if you're trying to bring your knees closer to your chin or your chest. Beautiful. And then bring your hands back underneath your shoulders to lift up, returning to tabletop position. From here, walk your hands out just a little bit, maybe a couple of inches. And then we'll rock forward. We're still on our knees. And then bring your elbows in towards your body to lower all the way down onto the ground. Beautiful. Before we do anything here, just make sure you're pressing your forehead into the mat, your chest, your hips, and the tops of your feet into the mat too. So That might be your quads, maybe your knees or your shins. Whatever you can get to touch, we're staying completely active through this. I'm just moving so that I can do this properly, but you can stay where you are. Extend your arms straight out in front of you, palms face up to the sky, still connecting to the ground, to the earth through the forehead, the chest, the hips, the legs, and the tops of the feet. And then maybe see if you can gently lift your hands, making them hover, making your arms hover above the ground. Beautiful. And maybe see if you can get your pinkies to touch out in front of you. Have the option for your arms to stay on the ground for this. Otherwise, we'll keep our arms hovering, and then we'll start to bring our arms back, almost creating a rainbow on both sides of our body, or making a snow angel with our arms. And once we get past that halfway point, we'll flip our hands so that our palms are still facing the ceiling, the sky, and we'll bring our thumbs to touch behind us. So slowly we'll bring our arms back up, creating a rainbow or a snow angel. Pinkies touch out in front of us. And then exhale. Bring your arms back and try to move with your breath here. So on the inhale, we'll bring the arms back up, out in front of us. Pinkies touch. Exhale to rainbow them back down, snow angel them back down, thumbs touch. Inhale back up. And exhale. Just a few more times with your own breath here. Slow and controlled. We'll bring our hands underneath our shoulders. Keep your elbows tucked in towards your center, so hugging into your sides and your side ribs. And then gently lift your chest, lift your chin, putting little to no weight in your hands. You're just lifting your chest here. Your hips are on the ground, connected to the ground. Tops of the feet are still grounding down. Inhale and exhale to release your forehead back to the ground. We're going to do that one more time. So press your hips into the ground, press your tops of your feet into the ground. Stretch your toes to face and pull towards the back of the room. And we'll inhale to lift the chest. The shoulder blades are helping you out here. And exhale to release. Beautiful. We're going to do one more laying down here. So keeping your forehead, your hips, and your legs touching the ground, pressed into the ground. Extend your arms to either side of you, creating a T. Make your hands into a fist, keeping the thumbs out of the fist, and then rotate the thumbs to face up towards the sky. So like a thumbs up. And you can stay here. Even just this motion is going to be helping you. If you're ready to move on, or if you're ready for a challenge, hover your hands and arms about an inch off the ground for a few breaths here. Stay strong. Pulling your shoulder blades towards one another, keeping them active. 2 more breaths. Last one. Wonderful. And release. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Push yourself back up to tabletop. From here, you're going to make sure that your knees are underneath your hips, that your hands are underneath your shoulders. And you're going to lift your right arm and trying to stack your shoulders, opening up through your chest, feeling a little opening through the back, through the shoulder blades when we do this. Inhale, and then exhale to thread your right arm underneath and through your left, bringing your shoulder your right shoulder and your right ear to the ground, coming into a gentle twist here. Your left hand is going to come up and stack on top of your right hand. So you're going to be pressing your hands together. And I'm going to show you really quick. So you're going to press your hands together like this. And you're going to try to straighten out through both arms. So you might notice that your top arm is bent. You're going to straighten that arm out to bring your shoulder stacking on top of your right shoulder. So left shoulder stacking on top of right as best as we can. Staying active in this stretch here. Pressing down into the tops of your feet for stability. And breathe. Great, and release. We'll bring our left hand underneath our shoulder to pull back up, to push back up, and we'll return to tabletop position. So lift your left hand up to the sky this time, twisting to your left side, stacking your left shoulder on top of your right. Inhale, and then exhale to thread your left arm through your right arm. And then again, bringing that right arm on top of the left. And you might be here, and then try to straighten that right arm. Try to straighten both arms so that we have our shoulders stacking on top of each other as best as we can here. Finding that twist, that opening through the upper back. And lower back is stable. A few breaths here. Wonderful. And then we'll put our right hand underneath our right shoulder and push back up into tabletop position. Great. And then we're going to bring our knees to touch. We're going to do a normal child's pose this time. So send your hips back towards your heels. And then we're going to do a resting twist. So this twist doesn't have to be as extreme. And we'll leave our left hand planted on the ground, maybe move it up a little bit further. Our torso is resting on top of our legs, and we're going to just thread that right arm underneath and through. You don't have to twist your body. Just that stretch in your right arm is maybe helping you find a little space, a little stretch through that upper back. And just notice how it feels in your body. Taking full, deep belly breaths. So when you inhale, you're filling up your belly first. And then on your exhales, try to release any tension that you have. Squeeze your belly in to expel all the air that you have. Great, and then we'll switch. Bring your right arm out in front of you. Thread the left arm through. Feel your body inflating like a balloon, and then deflating as you exhale, releasing all that tension out with your breath. And then extend that left arm out in front of you, coming to a resting child's pose. From here, you have the option to bring your knees as wide as the mat, opting for an extended child's pose. The option is yours here, so play around with them, see which one you prefer.
If you're in extended child's pose, on your next exhale, try to relax the heart or the chest onto the mat a little bit more, finding a little bit more opening and bending through that upper back. And you can stay here as long as you'd like. Otherwise, if you're ready, you can push back up to all fours. Return to a seated position. Bring our hands to touch, and we'll bring our thumbs to heart center. And bow our head in gratitude. Thank yourself for committing to your practice today, committing to your own mobility, your own body, as your body thanks you for this refreshing movement and yoga practice. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, let me know how it goes for you in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to turn the notifications on just so you know whenever I post a new video. See you next time. Thanks, yogis.